A lot of Whitney Houstons that come up when we look for you.
We're live. Oh, great. Welcome, everyone. I think we're on YouTube and on Twitter. This is my first live stream here. And I am joined here today. I'm First Whitney Magic, as you guys all know, and this is PulseRay Vision. Max, I think you go publicly as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Max and we've played. I like playing with people in real life, but like playing means friendship. We've played at different PulseChain and Hex meetups, one in Austin, one in Vegas. I've always really enjoyed dropping in with Max. We were just even reflecting about like a really great meal that we all shared with as a group. And so, yeah, we're here today to be able to drop in a little bit with some things that Max has been up to, one exciting project that he has been building and getting ready to launch on PulseChain as well. I have plenty of questions, plenty of excitement, and also we're just here to enjoy. So, hey.
Hey, that was a great introduction. I was just posting this right here. I thought I was subscribed to you, and I'm not even, so I had to subscribe to Queen of Millions.
Amazing.
That's awesome. Now I've got another cool channel to watch and binge. So yeah, I'm PulseRay Vision, aka Hexray Vision, aka Max, and aka Jamie's husband.
Oh, you muted yourself.
All right, am I back?
Just enough said with Jamie's husband.
First question I get at every PulseChain and Hex event is, "Where's Jamie?" Like that, they see me and they're like, "Yeah, but where's your wife?" So that's the best thing I bring with me to meetups is her. But yeah, she's a lot of fun. She's put up with a lot of nerdism and craziness over the last few years, being dragged to multiple crypto events. She's like, everyone is so loud. Everyone is so excited and talks so much. And I'm like, that's because there's the other people in our life have already heard us talk about crypto and they're sick of it. So when we get together, we get to just get crazy with each other about crypto. So.
We do unapologetically. We are here for it all.
Yep, we're a lively bunch. My journey into crypto started in 2015. I was out driving truck, and I was trying to find some way to retire and get out of driving truck and working for other people, because I'm not what you would call employee material. And so I was studying stocks and trading and options and stuff like that. And a guy named Alessio Rastani that I was following said, "Hey, check out Bitcoin right now." And that was when Bitcoin had crashed from $1,000 down to $150. And I didn't really know what it was. I thought it was just a company or something like that. And I went down the rabbit hole listening to podcasts and how Bitcoin was going to save us from the banks and the government and usher in this era of freedom and no middlemen. And I really got into it, like started running a node and trading and gambling, as we all do, because that's what crypto is really great for, is gambling. So I was doing all of that stuff and studying the charts and figuring out the 4-year cycle. And that's how I found Richard Hart in the Hexagon community. So I was there watching Hex being built for 2 years before it launched. And then I sat through the first year of the adoption amplifier, watching hexologists every day as the clock rolled over and people were auctioning off, or they're basically betting Ethereum for Hex every day for about a year. And that was really exciting times. That was like fractions and fractions of a penny. And we were like, man, if Hex ever hits a penny, we're all going to be rich. And yeah, it was good times. Like I said, it was still driving in and out of gold mines at that point. And, just following my crypto journey. The peak of 2017 was great. I had a couple Bitcoins, and that was like the most money I ever had. But I didn't know how to take profits. I didn't know what to take profits into, because the only stable back then that I knew of was Tether, and nobody trusted Tether back then, and nobody should trust Tether now. But yeah, I just rode that all the way up and all the way down and all the way up, and then I was able to put all my money into Hex when it started up. So I just went heavy into Hex during the adoption amplifier. And then when Hex was creeping up past like 4 cents, I was like, oh, I've got enough money for my stakes to live on. So I retired then and came home and got bored and started a YouTube channel and started onboarding all my friends and neighbors and everyone. And of course, I was onboarding them at 30 and 40 cent Hex like we all were. And now they call me up and they're like, hey, my stake's due. And I'm like, yeah, but the one on Ethereum is not worth cashing out right now because your fees are, $150 and your stake's worth 50 or whatever it is. But on PulseChain, it's worth going there. And at the same time, I was frustrated with the bear markets, and the inflation really is a killer in the bear markets. It's great in a bull run because everyone's, selling their interest instead of their original stake. But in the bear market, I was like, there's got to be a way to keep this economic energy going during the bear market. And so I tried in vain to think of a couple of projects I could build on top of Hex and then later Pulse. And the missing ingredient was I didn't have enough control over those ecosystems, the Hex ecosystem and the Pulse ecosystem. I wasn't a whale, I wasn't the OA. So I couldn't push things or move tokenomics in a way that would create the scarcity that I wanted to see in a token. So over time, I wrote a novel, a sci-fi novel called Rings of Dust. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be our first NFT, by the way. It's the bookmark Rings of Dust right there. Mm-hmm. And it's a sci-fi novel that explains our tokenomics of our whole ecosystem. And it's also a place where we can get art. So like the picture behind me is just like a couple paragraphs of an explosion that I fed into AI. And now we're like tweaking the art and coming up with our art for all the NFTs. So yeah, I wrote the book and then I figured out that I needed my own token to work with the NFT. I was inspired by a lot of projects like Texan, What's and then also giveaways, lotteries, those kind of things that were getting everyone's attention. Yeah. And so that's kind of what we tried to fold in on itself, which was the book, the NFTs, and the token.
Okay, can I dive in with some questions?
Please do. Yeah, because cool. I'll just ramble until I've lost everyone, and they'll have the same questions you do. So okay, please ask away.
Great. So I'm trying to get my bearings in the space right now of the context of things. So you've created Antigravity. This is a project that lives within PulseChain, correct?
Correct.
And when you're talking about like the ecosystem, I guess the story behind it, what is this particular ecosystem do in the space? I'm curious where you were talking about like the bull versus bear markets with Hex, the Hex with in the scarcity related. So I'm just kind of curious, how does this relay into what Antigravity does?
Yeah. So thank you. That was a really good question because I should have covered that first. But basically, we see this influx of people and this influx of money and energy during the bull market, and then it all kind of goes to crap. Shout out to RG3 there. What's up? Yeah. So how do you keep people hanging around? How do you keep the economic energy in the balloon, right? Because everyone comes up with these great ideas, and you see the money flow into whatever it is, whether it's a meme or a staking platform or something like that. But it's during the bear market, it's the same people jumping from project to project. It's not new people coming in, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And so we thought, what's the thing that brings in the degens and the gamblers and the FOMO guys during the bull market? And first of all, they love to bet on NFTs and JPEGs. They like to buy a picture of a monkey or an ape, and they're like, this thing could be worth $1 trillion. The other thing is they love giveaways. Like if you go on Twitter, every other post is like, we're giving away $1,000 of Ethereum, tune in, retweet, post, add your address, And so I thought, what if we could hook people with those behaviors and in the back on the back end have actual DeFi like we have in Hex with delayed gratification, longer pays better, those kind of things where we're almost like trick them into rehab, if you will. So it's almost like throwing a giant party and everyone's having fun. And then eventually when the lights come on, they're like, oh, this is actually an intervention and rehab, like helping people be involved in something that they normally wouldn't go seek out. Right. And so we're trying to put the sugar with the medicine, so to speak, if that makes any sense. Or like, it's kind of like tricking people into exercising by playing tag,
Okay, so help me. Maybe I just missed a detail. How is it helping? So yes, it's sparkly. It's there for a free giveaway and all. How is it helping them when the bear market's down?
The whole point of the token crisis is to try and continue to put buy pressure on during a bear market. So this is something that we haven't even seen Bitcoin do yet, right? There's no coin that has escaped the 4-year cycle. Shout out to Fast Abdul. What's going on?
We got a great bunch in the chat today.
We do. You have a really great audience. So yeah, how do we keep people interested and push? How do we beat the cycle, right? And my answer to that is a total scarcity to going to zero of the token. So our token only has 1 million token supply to begin with, and that is misleading because we have some tokenomics that really put a squeeze on it, and we're hoping to be the first project that puts a squeeze so good on the chart during the bear market that the price doesn't come down. That's actually the way that we came up with the word anti-gravity in the beginning, is to say, what if we could create a chart that didn't like do that crazy dump that we're used to seeing on every project around the same time or close to each other? And I was like, anti-gravity, that's great. And so I just took all my favorite tokenomics, and then we created a couple ourselves, and we have 11 smart contracts working together for this ecosystem, which it sounds very complicated, and it is, but we're going to make it as easy and fun as possible for the people that participate right now. And so starting right now, we wanted to give people an opportunity to help us bootstrap and pay for the audits and the coding right now. So we have the Wishwell era, which is going on right now. And that is just simply connecting your wallet, throwing some money into the wishing well, and making a wish. It's just what it sounds like. It's definitely not a sacrifice. And so basically you throw it in there and you get points. So when you go to the website, agproject.io, and you connect your wallet, throw in some stuff into the wishing well, any coin of value on PulseChain, then it spins up a live NFT, which is like an NFT receipt. So it says, this wallet put in $5 of Pulse, and this was your bonus, and these are your points. And if you throw in more Pulse or a different token, it'll add that up and it'll update and show you the points going up on that receipt. And right now, the only thing those points are good for is our ranking system in our community. So in the novel, we have a group called the Collective, and the Collective are basically the good guys, the underdogs and the freedom-loving people, right? And they have ranks just like any organization. And as you move up in the ranks, so on the back of this, let me put it in front of my face. There we go.
Yeah.
On the back of this bookmark that had the cover of the book, there's the ranks. So you start out as an informant, you move your way up to operator, field agent, technician. So
kind of like the whole like shrimp, shark.
Yeah, kind of like the Hex League.
Yeah.
Exactly. The difference is that these ranks come with swag, like in real life swag and online swag. So you're going to get stuff like t-shirts, stickers, and some things that I'm not even going to talk about right now because they like make me sick to my stomach. They're crazy ideas that our team has to give away. But you're also going to get privileges and access online. So you'll be able to beta test some of the stuff on our website first. You'll be able to come Zoom with us and the team and hang out. Speaking of which, Cody's in the house. C.A. Smith down there is the guy that's reworking the book to put all the tokenomics into the storyline.
Oh, rad.
And he's also the guy that came up with the cover, and he's been working on this as well, the collective. And
So
he's the one with crazy ideas of stuff to give away.
So I think it almost sounds fun, like you're creating this ecosystem within, like, obviously, like within PulseChain, it's like adding value to it, but bringing more real life things to life and to reality. Because even you said that you're doing your first in-person event coming up this week as well. And I think now we've been seeing collectively in the crypto world where it's just like the number one thing. Like, yes, we need code that works, but more than the code that works, we need the community. And like we've been seeing that with all the meme coin craze and everything. And I think even just an aspect of people wanting to belong in something, and then to enjoy, like you're saying, like in the bear market, when people are gonna be like sitting around being like, what to do? It's like, here we go. We've already planned this out for you guys.
Yeah, we're thinking ahead to not just make the project and the website as sticky and interactive as possible, but the in real life community. As you know, you can like be chatting with someone on Twitter or even streaming with them like we are right now on YouTube, and it's not as powerful and magic as meeting them in person. Like going to the in-person events, it's like there's this connection, this bond that we make as a community. And what we like to call ourselves is the collective. We want it to be a super community. So just like that Voltron from the 80s, if you're old like me, or Captain Planet, we're all coming together and doing our part, because you have Discourse Syndicate, you have Matty Allen's group, you have the DGen Roundtable, you've got Sloth's Treehouse, you got Randy Hilarski and the Note community, you've got Fast Abdul and the whole Flux community that are all getting together and building cool stuff, GIF, PGIF, those guys. And we all have a lot of the same values, and we all want to see PulseChain take over as the premier L1, where all the innovation and all the passion is. Mm-hmm. And as a community, that's really what we're working for, is that super community made up of all the sub-communities of PulseChain. Because I believe that, like you said, the tech's going to come and go, the platforms are going to come and go, and eventually we'll all have good user experiences on our phones and apps. Like that's a matter of time before everyone gets into crypto, just like it was a matter of time before everyone used the internet. But the special sauce of that are relationships, credibility, people that you trust, people that have your back and are willing to sit down and explain to you why one wallet's different than another, or how to bridge, or all these difficult things that we're so generous in this community, and so that's what the secret sauce. This is all an excuse to get together and play, as you were saying before. This is an excuse to get together at concerts, festivals, conferences, and really share this passion that we get to enjoy. We're on the front seats to history right now. We're on the bleeding edge of finance and technology. And so it's just this great chance it's an excuse to hang out with your friends online and in real life, and to be a good example of the other people that aren't in crypto yet. Because when they start to look at crypto and being like, I don't know about it, they're going to see one group that's having fun and making money and helping each other. And then they're going to see a bunch of other corporate exchanges and shill monsters and media personalities pushing this and that, and it's going to be really quick. They're going to quickly realize where the party's at and where the good people are, where they want to spend their time, and who they want to join crypto with, and that should be us, I believe.
Yeah. I was having a few conversations about this recently, and even just noticing the quality of our community, but even just like the energy quality. I'm trying to like figure out my centering here, the camera. I'm like, where is it moving? Oh, I just made that worse. But it's truly noticing. It's like well, I think right now there's just been so much hype around, if we're looking collectively in the crypto world, where it's like Solana, people have been having a lot of fun. Base, people have been having a lot of fun because they've been making money. But also the people in that space, they use it quite disposably. They're like, shitting and pissing like in their same place all the time, and you're just like, guys, this is not a sustainable environment.
Yeah.
And
They're eating their young is what I call it.
oh, it truly is. Oh, that's such a terrible, yeah, but that's true.
It's musical chairs.
Yeah.
That's a nicer way of putting it. Is it's musical chairs. It's the same people and the same money kind of going in a circle, waiting for retail investors to pop in, like we've seen with Bitcoin getting its pump and Ethereum starting to pump. You know, everyone's just waiting for the rain to fall in their field. But until then, there's a lot of cannibalism and, you know, jumping to the next shiny object, because that money and energy's got to come from somewhere. And usually it just comes from the last hot project that people are starting to dump. Right.
And I mean, that's kind of what's going on in our space right now as well. Just because I think whenever you're getting out of that bear market energy, everyone's just the select degens are there, and retail money hasn't made it in yet. So we're all just kind of going through the same limbo of like getting to that next level, that next frontier of bringing the next cohort of people in as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And the truth is, we don't know what the next use case for crypto is going to be. Crypto took over gambling, like completely. If you want to gamble, crypto beats the heck out of the stock market in Vegas and real estate and other ways that people try to flip and make money and take risk. Like crypto is like the black tar heroin of speculation. And that's great. That's the internet was at first just a bunch of weird chat rooms and nerds, right? That was its first use case. But then it went on to like email and social media and shopping and, you know, all sorts of cool stuff, you know, entertainment. And so we don't know what the next wave is going to be that really emerges out of the dust of crypto. But I believe that it's the people that are going to do it right are in our community, in the PulseChain community, and people that have followed Richard Hart for years and understand the cost of a middleman and trusting someone else with your coins and things like that.
Yeah. It's like we have all the infrastructure there and all the values there to allow, it's like the infrastructure is there, so do what you want with it. But also like, so this past week I was at Consensus for a little bit.
Tell us about Consensus. I did not make it to Consensus. How was it?
Well, I ended up staying only for a day, and then I got sick, and I was like, I have to take care of myself, and I like burned myself out, so I just ended up like I ended up just,
to hear that.
Yeah, but like you always get what you need, and I ended up just crawling into bed and then just sleeping for a few days, and I had a few friends that came over still, and so I was able to like recap and get their gist of things too. But from the day that I was there, I actually did pick up a lot. So I ended up spending most of that day. Crypto Coffee was there. So we were wandering around at all the different booths and particularly trying to find and figure out different ways to like help create more bridges of more onboarding bridges for PulseChain, having conversations with different people, whether that was centralized onboarding ramps or the decentralized. And it was just interesting going through and having some of those conversations too, to see and feel really how, first off, young, of course, PulseChain is, but also how much like the power is in the people, including us, the young ones that are here and that are building and that are like wanting to be able to sculpt these in different ways. Like we literally, it's from the relationships that are being had and the people that are like, hey, how can I help you? It's the people at the other at the other booths and such that are like, hey, we know all about this PulseChain stuff. We know all about Richard Hart. Like we know about its Gucci bags. Like we understand the SEC stuff. Like people in the space know. Some people know, and then a lot of people don't know. So it was collectively really great to see just how like hands on the ground right now we are as the builders and as the movers and as the content creators, the educators. Like it is such a pivotal time. And then also on the other side of things, of seeing like the whole crypto space, like there were so many different talks. There was like I was even sitting down at this one networking event for women, and I ended up meeting like the Filecoin founder was sitting right next to me, and it was just kind of one of those comical things where she's like, "Yeah, I like founded this," and I was like, "Huh, interesting." Like you. And so it was just kind of noticing and seeing like all the different pockets of crypto, whether that is particular coins or networks, or that's whole movements and of things. So like there were a few pretty big conversations around like even the DPIN and DeSci world, of DPIN being decentralized infrastructure, and then DeSci, decentralized science. Like seeing how there's all of these sectors that are really coming up, and there's not going to be one crypto ecosystem. There's not going to be one period point blank for like how crypto is going to be. It's really seeing that this whole decentralized world is emerging, and I think the benefit of all of us being here and being like the true nerds in the space is like we're going to be able to see like what like the different pathways that are going down, and then being able to see like, okay, that one worked, that one didn't. Okay, now when a new decentralized ecosystem, like a new sector comes up, we can start to layer on more patterns to see like what success looks like in the decentralized world. So all that to be said, I'm like, as PulseChain, like we have so much potential that I'm so curious, like what sectors are going to like be a hot topic in ours, and who else is going to build here. Like we have everything to set ourselves up for success.
Yeah, can you imagine being like at America Online convention way back in the day, and then these guys are getting up and they're talking about basically Amazon or Netflix or Facebook, and back then people would be like, "You're insane. There's no way that people are going to use their computer for that, or that would be successful." But here you are sitting in a room full of other crazy people, visionaries and people that are passionate, that see the future of crypto, just the way that people saw the future of the internet back in the day. And everyone else was like, "You guys are insane. You guys are crazy." That's where we're at right now. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of crazy people here, but some of us are crazy in the right way, crazy looking forward and trying to take this amazing opportunity that we have to put finance in our own hands and not ask permission from the banks and the governments and the middlemen, and just build beautiful things. And so that sounds like a really cool place to be consensus.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it very much felt like you were stepping into the future. Like everyone around was like, I mean, first off, everyone had a project to show. Either people were building or whatever it was. And it was able to notice like, yeah, I really like I like calling things frothy. Like when it's just like there's a ton of builders, or there's a ton of even like sales energy to some degree. It's just like people are like moving things through because they understand it's a hot topic. It's a hot time. Like the .com boom. Like I was a little baby, so I would have been in first grade at that time. But but still, it's like that type of energy of like there's so much building and so much momentum that it's actually quite, I find it's quite easy to kind of be able to ask the right questions to understand like people's BS meter of like, do you actually understand the space, or did you just salesperson yourself into one thing and then slap on a few things and things worked? But yeah, we really are on the floor right now.
Yeah, Cody likes the word frothy. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, the BS meter, the smell meter is like, you can smell the VC money, you can smell the VC projects. We have a lot of projects that come jump on our stream and start talking, "Hey, have you checked this out, that out?" And we'll look it up, and it's like, okay, you guys have 65,000 people in your Telegram and you have 2 posts a day. That's not, obviously you don't have 65,000 real people there or using your chain or any of that stuff. So you can really like, it's easy to sense the VC money and the pop-ups and the AI cash grabs. And then you come onto YouTube and there's like 20 PulseChain dedicated channels or specific channels. I was trying to find a base specific channel because we accept people. Our Wishwell works with Base, and our mining is going to work with the Base network too, if you guys want to throw Base in there. And I was searching for the Base channels. I couldn't find any. There are people that talk about Base or talk about meme coins on Base and then other chains, but there's no Base YouTube channels that I can find. I could be wrong. There could be a couple right now that are starting, but for the most part, it's the same thing with Cardano. Like there might be 3 YouTube channels that are just Cardano channels or XRP channels. And then there's like 20, 30, 40, and counting that are all in PulseChain that are talking about all the cool stuff we're building here. And you can't fake that. You can't hire that many people to continue pumping out projects and content on one chain.
And to create content, we all know, like you know, it just takes so much effort to do it. So you actually have to have that passion of like, I'm here to build, I'm here to stay, I'm here to connect, I'm here to have fun, I'm here to like, this is life. And not only that, but like you and I, like we've both traveled multiple states away to be able to get to different conferences and different events. Like that takes something. Yeah, everyone's saying like, yeah, our Ponzi's better than yours. Like that's basically it. Like, but everything, I don't know, everything's a Ponzi, everything's a scam. But it's a matter of, do people genuinely have shared values, want to stay in a space, and to build? Like I think it's less than a Ponzi than anything. It's more of just like, do you want to build? Like seeing a pyramid. We have the building blocks. Do you want to keep on going? A lot of different crypto ecosystems won't have the strength to be able to keep on going. But I mean, it's pretty, I don't think we need to say it again, but it's just like what we have here is so strong in that sense where I'm like, let's keep on going. Let's see what's going to be the next thing.
Yeah, we're definitely, I feel like we're in the right place at the right time. I think that's the easiest way to sum all that up. And even though like I'm super proud of our project, and if it succeeds in what we plan on it doing, then it's going to be copied, right? The tech's going to be copied, the tokenomics are going to be copied, but the one thing that they can't copy is our community. They can try to, but they'll fail. And so that's why we put that first, is we want these relationships and communities to be strong and healthy, so that when someone does take our tokenomics or take the model of something like liquid loans and they just like copy and paste it over on Solana, it's not going to work the same. It's not going to have the same blood, sweat, and tears. And I don't know what to, just the relationships. The relationships aren't going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's relationship. And also like I've been going back and having a lot of reflections with some other people in the space too, around the leadership in our space as well. And in particular, like at this time, like we know how sometimes Twitter can be on our side of things. And it can be a little bit questionable at times, and it can test some people just emotionally. And also I've been asking, I'm like, how do we as a community polish this space so that it becomes a space that we can have, like we have our leaders, but like our leaders don't get burnt out from the toxicity that does live in the space as well. Like we want people, even when price is down, for people to still to some degree be able to enjoy themselves and be like, okay, this thing is not dead. Like we're doing things, we're moving things, like there's different things popping off. And I think that we can even see that in this time right now, where there has been different meme coins that have gone, so that when people are like sitting here waiting for like the PulseX, Inc, Hex, all of Richard's stuff to come back around, we've been able to play in different spaces and create more relationships still.
Yeah, and we've learned a lot about liquidity providing and bonding and other things that are, like I said, they're next level. Most of crypto has not wrapped their head around the T-share of Hex, or wrap their head around a truly decentralized validation system like PulseChain. Like you have so many real people running real machines, or paying other people to run real machines, that don't exist in other ecosystems. It's a server farm and AWS, and that's basically what a lot of these chains are running on. And so, yeah, this real person feel that we have going here is special. Want to say welcome to Chris Corrigal. He says Fast Abdul sent me. Fast Abdul says, press like and subscribe, or I will release the weasels.
or I will. We want the weasels released anyways.
or he will
please.
release the weasels.
Both,
and
please.
And Cody says the reason that they don't have a community is because they are basic. Good pun. Basic.
They'll do fine overall, but they're young. But I think it's been interesting just noticing how, like, if we want to, like, I mean, I love studying the human behavior behind this stuff too, of just how our community's been sculpted, but it's been over years. And it's also been, I think, our volatility of hex price and all too has helped us bond together as well. Because we've all had to, I mean, first off, it helps emotional intelligence wise. All of us, we've had to get in check with our emotions faster, or else you get burned out and you just leave. So we do have people that first off are smarter because we all see the patterns of how everything works, but also emotionally smarter as well. And then therefore we're able to bring people into that space as well. So it's just kind of seeing like the basic people can go to base. The intelligent people will take you, please.
Yes, definitely. And there's so many different generations involved in crypto right now. You have, Fidelity and the big boys that spent $20 billion on infrastructure over this last bear market, trying to capture the baby boomers and bring those 401ks and all that stuff into Bitcoin and Ethereum and charge their fees. And then you have people like us, like myself, that are like Generation Xers, that, we've gone out and we've seen what it takes to try and keep up with inflation and buy homes and support our families. And we realize that the current system is broken and that it's just going to grind the middle class into dust. And then you have the millennials that they look at their student loans and they're like, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to afford a house. And we were talking the other night, and I believe it was Paul Sachs was talking about the millennials are more likely to spend their income on sports betting and gambling and speculation because they don't see the point of investing. They don't see the point of trying to catch up in the stock market or their 401k. They're literally have a completely different view on money and life. And they've lived their whole life on the internet. They've had money in their video games that they can use. They've had Cash App and PayPal. So to them, like, crypto's intuitive. It's just native to them. So it'd be really interesting to see how, although they don't have a lot of money, right? You have the baby boomers sitting on all this cash and all this money that they've accumulated with riding that inflation wave. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how this shakes out between different generations. But the thing I like about our community is we do have the baby boomers, we do have millennials, we do have a lot of Gen Xers that are all out there speaking to people. Speaking of which, like here's Crypto Sloth, millennial, that is out there doing a lot of good work and explaining a lot of amazing stuff in his courses. If you guys aren't following Crypto Sloth, get in there, watch his free videos on liquidity providing, join his groups because he brings so much alpha.
He really does. He really does. I was actually just chatting with him earlier, and I was like, "You're such a great human. I'm so glad we have you in our space." But yeah, piggybacking off of the all the adoption and like bring the onboarding conversation, because like that's my passion, that's my baby, is to bring the women in. And particularly I work with a lot of millennials, mostly going for like ages of like women that are like 45 to like 28. And it's been interesting noticing, I think, like, we all know that like our finance, everyone's perception around finances is something different of like how much they have. And so I've noticed that actually a lot of people that you wouldn't expect to have that cash, they would be like, hey, I have this money tucked away. I have it in savings because I was told like save and do these things, but they didn't have financial literacy to know like what to do with it. I was particularly one of those people when I was back in the corporate world doing that, and then eventually got brought into crypto. So I think a lot of it too is right now that with a lot of people feeling like the turbulence and the change in the world, they're like, hey, like I work with a lot of intuitive women who are like, I feel the call for crypto. I don't understand what this stuff is. It feels a lot bit overwhelming to me. It's a boys' world. There's all these things to learn, to know what to do. And it's like, where do we begin with this stuff? And they're like, hey, I'm sitting on this cash. So for most people, I find it's just been this game of how do we build trust with them so that they can trust that the system is not going away, that this actually is the best place to be able to put your cash and your capital. And then once they get into the why crypto, it's the why Pulse Chain. And for me, that's honestly been the easiest sell in the whole wide world. Because once people are like, oh, we're in this thing, we're like in our Ethereums, we're in our Solanas, we're in our Bitcoins, like we're fine with these things. How do we get some real growth? And I'm like, oh, now you want to play? Let me break down like the innovation curve of like how crypto has evolved, and naturally that everyone can see the Bitcoin to Ethereum. Ethereum's better, has evolved in that way, and then Pulse Chain being an evolution of that, and then seeing that they want to be ahead of the curve of something, seeing that there is community, that there is leadership, that there is capital waiting on the sideline to flow in, that it's just really a matter of time. People can see all these things. So that's where I'm like, I know what we have, like it's gold. It's gold, it's gold, it's gold. It's been confirmed like so many times for me here on out. But it's just a matter of more people that keep on hearing this stuff. And I think even when if our price does stay down and if the market does keep growing along, that's going to be really great for people to be like, hey, what's the crypto that is continuously going, that is continuously undervalued, that continuously has this like pressure that is ready to pump? Like, oh, that's Pulse Chain. Like I got to get into it. So, yeah, like I'm not concerned about it. It's just a matter of how, it's just a matter of when.
Yeah, and going back to your point of men versus women, men are more likely to take risks with their capital.
Yeah.
And they got that hunter-gatherer thing still stuck in their brain. But women are much more likely to invest time and resources into truly understanding where they're putting their money. And so women are more likely to sit down and read the white paper and go through the YouTube videos and understand which wallet is better and why. So you guys will bring, you're not believing that?
I don't agree at all with that. But women are like, give me a condensed, beautiful way that I can understand this, that actually makes human sense.
Yeah,
once we get
put it into English.
Yeah, exactly. Once we get super tech on them, you're gone. And also like, and for myself, I'm gone too. Like I need someone to translate it to some degree when I'm first getting in. So it's really like, I think women need their like bearings in the space to be like, oh, like there's all these crypto sectors. Like you're dragging me straight on into DeFi. Yes. Okay. I'm dragging you into a better Ethereum. I'm dragging you into a layer 1. Okay. I'm dragging you into a DEX. Like they need some reference points to be like, compare it to different things. Like they need historical data points. Okay. Why would this work? Let's go back to patterns. So it becomes easy to see it that way. And it's also like, oh, I've gone too far on the tech side. Okay. Let me pull it back. What is the question that I need from you?
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. I go back to the example of the WhatsApp NFT, right? So WhatsApp was built on, well, first you had Hex, and then you had Hedron, and then Icosa, and then WhatsApp, all built layer and layer and layer, all add-ons and additions and expansions of the same system. And people like myself, we would like lock ourselves in a room for 3 days just to wrap our head around what WhatsApp was and Icosa and just different staking mechanisms and things like that. And after you were able to turn it into English, you could sit down and just tell people a WhatsApp NFT is a pinata that fills up with candy. And if you break the pinata, it no longer fills up with candy. In fact, your candy gets distributed to the other pinatas that haven't been smashed open. So like it took days and weeks for us to take very complex financial instruments and systems and turn them into English for people. Mm-hmm. And so I can totally relate to what you're saying, where they're like, okay, well, what's a wallet? Like people don't have no idea what a wallet is, even though they know what a wallet is in the real world. They don't understand what a wallet is in crypto. Yeah. So you have to continue to break things down to the lowest level and the easiest to understand, because we all started there at one point where we didn't understand anything and we had to ask a lot of questions and Google a lot of terms, and then slowly over time through osmosis, now we speak like the nerds that we couldn't understand a year ago. Yeah, right. We're like blah blah blah, we use all the jargon, and the new people are like, I have no idea what you're talking about, it scares me and I don't want to lose my money. Yeah, totally. And so unless you make it fun and understandable and start people small, like, okay, well, and you used to be able to do this on Ethereum. I gave each of my siblings $50 of Ethereum during the adoption amplifier. And with that $50, we were able to go and create stakes and have money left over because the fees were 1 to 10 cents. I remember when the fees on Ethereum hit 10 cents, I was livid. I was so mad that we were up to 10 cents of fees, right? And you could do that with just a small amount of money and a small amount of risk. And now, unless people have $2,000 or $3,000 and they're willing to lose 10 to 20% in fees, I say don't even touch Ethereum. Don't go through Coinbase. Don't go through Uniswap. Don't go through any of that stuff because you're going to pay such a heavy price going in fees, right? And now I believe I retweeted this. CoastOX is back up. So you can connect your bank account to CoastOX and put money straight into PulseChain, pull it straight out of PulseChain without going through the bridges and all the other headaches and crap that we've been going through. And so that's a huge deal. You can actually sit down with somebody with $50 in their bank account and walk them through a lot of these scenarios and then get them started in some staking and some protocols, have them buy a couple of projects that they believe in, and then say, okay, we're going to watch this for 4 years. We're going to go through a cycle and it's going to be crazy, but trust me, at the end, you'll learn a doctorate's degree worth of DeFi every cycle. Every cycle you get another doctorate's degree basically. Yes. In crypto. That's how fast and how much information. In fact, my buddy here, he's taken an MBA. He's in his MBA program right now. Guess how many courses are on crypto in his MBA?
Are there any?
None.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
There's not one course. It would be like taking marketing 3 years ago and them not covering the internet. You know what I mean? It's like
so true.
It's insane.
But who would teach it for them? They would have to hire someone like one of us.
They'd have to hire Dr. Sloth. Is what they'd have to do. Is bring in Professor Dr. Sloth.
Doctor in dentistry, doctor in crypto, it's all the same thing. Potato.
Yeah, and crypto coffee. Crypto coffee has amazing courses. Fashion Coder has amazing courses.
I have my own course.
You have your own course.
Oh yes,
definitely.
This and creating a course in crypto takes that took me. I'd like to say I was pregnant. It was almost like I was pregnant with the course. It took 9 months to create it. And I've been people, I live in Austin. People here know me as Whitney Crypto. Just because they're like, oh, you're the crypto girl. I'm at events speaking, they know it's my identity and passion, but really another reason I did that too, is because I was like, I want to understand how people work and what comes up when I'm teaching crypto, when I'm speaking about it in real life. Immediately people's fears come up, and then I just get to unpack the conversations around it. So it's been a lot as creating a 101 course. For me, it's taken a lot of investigative conversations to really understand the root of the problems that people have and what actually needs to be taught to them without sending them down all the jargon rabbit holes, but actually bringing it back to as a human, they need to study and see the evolution of change. They need to build trust. They need to be able to understand what emotions are coming up and understand the emotional ladder that goes on in the crypto world, and also the emotional world that goes on within themselves, so that they don't sell and that they can actually go off, live their life and be like, my plan's working for me. I'm supported. It's been a lot. So I break it down like a 5-week program, which I've just absolutely loved the whole journey of it. But ultimately people are like, I want a system that works for me. I want confidence. I want conviction, and I want simplicity.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So when you sat down to make a course, what was it that first of all, you had to figure out where people were starting from, which is probably a whole process in and of itself, which I'd like to hear about. Yeah. But then also, where did you want them to get to after your course? What understanding and level did you want to get them to in those 5 weeks?
Ooh, great. So where they're coming from is, I've heard about this crypto thing, or I've been in it, and I've had different guys, particularly I'm for women. I can do guys as well, but my target audience. So they may have been in the last cycle, and they would have had like a guy set up, a degen crypto guy, be like, okay, get X, Y, and Z. And so they may have like their Coinbase with like all these random junk coins inside. And ultimately this time they want financial empowerment. They want financial literacy. They want to have a plan that works for them. And they want a balance of a diversified portfolio as well, so that they can, nervous system wise, feel secure. My end goal for them was to actually build convictions around, to come into crypto, be like, I understand why it's here. And then also I want them to feel comfortable with generally navigating the blockchain and like bridging things in, so that like the whole MetaMask world, our blockchain side of things, isn't completely an unknown, but it's at least in their radar and they have systems that work for them. And then lastly, like, of course, get them into positions, but ultimately leave them with like a conviction and a thesis around why they're in each coin. So that they're feeling empowered. They're like, these are my reasons, X, Y, and Z, that I'm in this and not that. It feels simple for me. It feels good. And crypto's not intimidating. Like, I want them to leave feeling excited, excited for the future of their finances, excited to be aligned to the future. And like time and time again, people are just like, oh, thank you. Like, I finally feel excited. I was like, just get ready. We have another year.
That's amazing. That's something that as a guy, and most of the courses that I hear about from guys, they don't address the emotional aspect of money and the emotional aspect of learning something new and becoming comfortable with it. So that's such a unique and really, I think, missing part of crypto right now, is walking people through that emotional growth, not just the mental or, understanding a couple of clips of, how to navigate the website, but to actually be confident and comfortable in that setting. So that's really amazing.
Yeah, it's been cool. It's been fun. And I also realized for my own self in the journey that when it came, like, for my story is like last cycle when I was in, I watched 25K go over to $500,000, and I didn't know how emotionally to navigate that. And I had a mentor, but also didn't feel like my mentor was there for me at the time. So I very much felt abandoned, kind of, to some degree, which could have been my own victim mode. But like, I didn't feel like I was part of a community at that time to make the financial decisions. And so it's really been my passion of like, I have my community rolling. I'm educating people so that they know that they don't have to be alone. That's not an option for them. They can find like-minded people that they can go to, and they can shift their relationship to money so that they can have more power for themselves. And yeah, so we're changing our world. We're changing our realities.
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Good for you. You deserve a pat on the back for what you do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, give yourself one. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. We're about an hour right now on your stream. I'm going to jump on my stream probably about 10-15 minutes, where I play copyright music to upset YouTube. And then I'll go over our updates on our project, and I chill and explain what's going on and the different tokenomics and parts of it. And if anyone else wants to join us over there, the link is going to be in our Telegram, t.me/Antigravity Saga. That's where we release the announcements first. So as soon as we have something new to share with you, whether it's the design of our website or where we're at in our audits, that's where we hit it first. And the second place is going to be on our daily stream, or mostly daily stream. It's been daily so far. This is day 50 of daily streams.
Amazing. And so to tap off, so wishing well right now is the thing that is your not sacrifice round. That is literally tossing money into the wishing well, like taking your pennies and tossing them in. Yes.
Joining the collective. That's how you, like, we have people, 100 and something people in our Telegram, but we consider our community the people that have connected their wallets to that wishing well. That is like, you're in the collective. You're one of us. Even if you've thrown 68 cents of a strange coin like Pulse Only fans, which people have done, you're still in the collective. You've taken steps to show us that you're willing to at least connect a wallet and see where this thing goes. And we love that. There's bonuses in the Wishwell wallet right now. We're at 11x bonus for every buck worth of crypto you throw in there. You get 11 of those points towards the collective ranking. And then we're going to move tentatively right now. It's going to be July 25th when we move into the second era, which is going to be the mining era. And that one starts with 2 weeks at 33x, 2 weeks at 22x, and 2 weeks at 11x. So you can jump into that one and also get bonus points during the mining era. However, if you participate in more than one era, you get a multiplier on top of your bonus. So you get a 2x if you participate in 2 eras, and if you participate in all 3 eras, you get a 4x on top of your bonus. So that's how you can rank up.
Keep on tossing your wishes in.
Yeah,
all the way
yeah.
through.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't have the guts to announce some of the stuff that we've got planned to give away to people, but I just leave it at like T-shirts, stickers, maybe some mugs, something cool like that people can rock and show where they're at. And then there's a lot more stuff that we're going to be giving away on chain and in real life as these parties and events get bigger and better and funner. And, we're taking over festivals and things like that, because this is a super community. Like, why aim small when you have so much energy and so many passionate and smart people to promote your message and to grow the community? We're thinking pretty big with this. So
love that. And I love the community, the real life stuff being brought in. Okay, I'm here for it.
Awesome. All right, cool. Yeah. So follow me, PulseRay Vision, Telegram, Antigravity Saga, website's agproject.io. And that whole website's going to be redone as we go into the mining phase. And we'll be doing mining on Base and Pulse, but we're only launching the actual mainnet on Pulse when we get all the games going.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah. Tell us where we can follow you, Whitney. Where can people find you and get a hold of your course and follow you on Twitter?
Right. Thanks for helping with these formal things of the first stream.
I got you.
Yeah. Find me on Twitter, Whitney_magic. Website is queenofmillions.com. Got my community for my women in crypto 101 course for anyone. And then I do a lot on Instagram as well. So whitney.magic.crypto.
Awesome.
And then, of course, subscribe to this channel if you guys have not already.
Yeah, hit the like and subscribe and repost this on Twitter.
Yeah, it makes me. We have 121 in the room right now. This makes me so happy. I was just like, oh, for 125 now. I was like, oh, first stream. Job well done, guys.
Yes, excellent, very successful. So, yeah, and Phil, you should definitely be doing more of these streams with these people in the comments. Like, they bring so much of a great positive vibe with them and so much information. And they're also very welcoming on theirs if you haven't tried jumping on a bunch of other streams, including mine. So if for you guys that want to continue this party, we'll be over on my channel in just a little bit. And if you guys want to join the actual stream and hang out with us, then that link's going to be in our Telegram. So
okay, great.
Jump on in.
I will see you right on over there. Thank you so much for being here, Max. It was
Thank you for having me.
Until next time. Well, until your stream in 5 minutes. I'll see you there.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Bye, guys. Thanks for being here today. Catch you on the next one.
See you guys.